Hey everybody, what's going on? Sorry about the wait. Sorry about the wait. Sorry about the wait. How we feeling? How we feeling? Let's just drop this real quick on you and yeah, you know, I'm sorry that you guys had to wait. I'm sorry you guys had to wait. Definitely.
That does not nullify
the evidence
that says that
Johnny was hit by a weapon.
64 people up in there. That's what's up. Sorry for the late start, people. I'm very, very sorry. Things happen. Let's just keep it going. Read between the lines. Yeah. I stand center stage. You ain't no killer. That mention the case. You need an ass for that guy. You were trying to get away. Now you glorify a deal like it's 88. When I say 19, y'all say 88. 19. When I say static, y'all say selector. Static. When I say like this, y'all say special. Like this. They lock us up. We want you feel when I should turn your back on me. I can feel you running. They on Instagram, look at the reels they running. Aesthetically, we always sitting chills for summers. Static. Hey yo, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and there's a lot of corruption going on right now. So throw your peace signs up right now. Yeah, I go by J.F.K, Justice for the Kids. Yeah, free Karen Reed. Free Karen Reed. Yeah, free Karen Reed. You already know. And here we go. We got 139 people up in the room. What's going on, people? Sunday fun day. Good evening. Chick Noodle. What a name. We got Lynn Karen. We got look at this. We got Chick Noodle. We got Melissa. Noodle. We got Melissa 305. Who else we got up in here? I got tonight I got my guy James Jackson. What's going on, James?
Chilling, man. James Jackson's here. Set a few things straight. Good.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Big Bad Brian A. How am I looking out there, people? Am I sounding good out there? How am I feeling? My mic sound nice? How we doing? We got Bev Crabtree. Oh, Fuckery Donuts 512. I'm just on the controls right now, trying to get every comment up there. Remember, super chats are awesome. And if you drop them super chats, I can see your comments better. You know how it goes, but I'm going to try to get everybody anyway, because that's just the way I do it. Oh, we sound great. Okay. So what's up, people? How we feel about Big Bad Brian A? Before we go any further, if you had one word to describe Brian A, what would it be? You go first, my man James. What would it be? One word.
I'll say liar.
Liar. One word, people. Go. I want to see it in the comments. Let's get it going. Cindy, what's going on? DNS Disposal. We got Independent Sounds up in here. Oh, Big Bad Brian A is a killer. Ooh. We got 176 people up in here tonight. Oh, yes. We got it going on, James. James, where can they find you at? They could get your YouTube. Where can we get you at?
You can go to my YouTube page. I'm starting to get it just set up. So it's at James Jackson. That's my YouTube page.
Yeah, James. That's what it is. And now you got caught up in some corruption before, right? You're from the city of Malden, and there was some detectives out there that didn't like you for whatever reason, what it was. And you got caught up in some corruption and learned what the Massachusetts Commonwealth is all about, right?
Oh yeah.
You want to expand on that a little bit?
I mean, which part, man? Which one do you want to talk about? There's
Let's talk about a guy named Langston.
well, Langston, yeah, he's either he likes you or he doesn't. I mean, I guess he didn't like me. You know, this guy, he's I don't want to say too much because you know he's still on the force. He's still working. I'm trying not to, get into too much. But yeah, he definitely corruption. A lot of cases that went to corruption with him, and
You had a fight for your life. You was on
I
bail. What happened? They arrested you and they put you in jail. What happened with that?
so they arrested me. They put me in jail for something I didn't do. He just, he told me this was the time, and so I ain't gonna get into what everything. But yeah, so they locked me up for something I didn't do, and it's very hard for me, J.F.K, to talk about this, touch it,
Yeah.
to not to go into certain. But yeah,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
So what happened? How was the other end of it? Did you get out of it all right? How did it end
Yeah,
up going
so
for you?
it took a while. So that yeah, let me segue off it to make it a good thing. It took a while to get out of it. I got caught up in the system. They put me on probation. They put you on probation. Now, when they put you on that probation, you could get locked up for drinking in public. They're going to surrender you on the charge that Langston originally charged me on. So, because whatever he may have charged me on at that time may have carried more time than drinking in public does. So, I'm going to get the time that he gave me for that. So then I had to hire an attorney, the whole thing.
Set you back, huh?
Set me back. Had to hire an attorney, set me back. But it worked out in the end. Like if she didn't have these attorneys, Karen Reed, who knows how
Now,
this
can
would
this
ended
happen
up.
to anybody? Can a cop just not like a citizen for whatever reason? Like, shout out
Absolutely.
to Linda Boo. Thanks to my girl Melissa, for pinging me on this live. Thanks a lot. We got 242 people in the room. So what I was saying, James, is can it just happen to anybody? Like, do you have to be a criminal? Because Karen Reed wasn't a criminal. Can you just get
No,
caught up in the system?
you can get caught up in the system very easy, especially in Massachusetts. Like it's a thing out here, and we're trying to break that. And fair to say, this trial might just do that. It's definitely gonna put some eyeballs on the Mass State Police. They're gonna have to keep this shit clean for a while on the side of the street. And yeah,
That's what it is. So with that being said, right, let me jump into this guy real quick, right? We're gonna get into it, people. That's what we came here to do. We came here to rock with you guys for the night. Oh, we got a 1999. You're far too kind. Far too kind.
I
1999,
appreciate it.
sunny day. Thanks for staying with you. You rock. No,
All
thanks for
right.
staying with this. You rock. Absolutely, sunny day, and I appreciate that. We got 234 people up in here. This is the most I ever had on a live. I really appreciate every last one of you. But with that being said, let's just get into this guy, Big Bad Brian. Hey, let's get into
Mm.
him, see how he is. He's a real Big Bad Brian A. He he just got a lot of issues, man. And we're all gonna talk about it. This is your chat, people. This is your chat, and I want you guys to
Were you?
get involved.
No, I was not.
Mr. Albert, you were trying to distance yourself from knowing Miss Reed in your grand jury testimony with, well, I'll use the date, in your April 2022 grand jury testimony, weren't you?
No,
You were further trying to distance yourself from Miss Reed in your June 2023 grand jury testimony as well, correct?
no,
You thought that it was important to try to deny knowing John O'Keefe and Karen Reed during those interviews and or that testimony.
objection.
Sustained.
Mr. Albert, you knew that if you admitted having a relationship with John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, you'd have a lot to answer for when Karen Reed's boyfriend ended up dead on your lawn 6 days later, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask the question differently.
Can't hear you, Jay.
You knew that there would be questions about your relationship with Karen Reed if it were known that you knew her before her boyfriend ended up dead on
Drea,
your lawn 6
Drea out there, I got her put up on the wall real quick. If you want to support me, you can drop a super thanks. That's fine. You can also cash at me at J.F.K. Show Off or buy a membership. Whatever you want to do, Drea. Whatever, how you feeling. Let's get into it.
days later, correct? There would be questions.
Objection.
Can ask it a different way. That's sustained.
So you lied under oath when you said, I've never met or seen her before, correct?
No, because that wasn't my whole statement.
The sentence, I've never met or seen her before, pretty unequivocal, isn't it?
That was not the context of my whole sentence.
But that's
This
the words
guy.
that came, those are the words that came out of your mouth, right?
Initially, and then I remembered that I had met her once.
Let me just ask it this way.
Sure.
Is that sentence true or false? That you had never met or seen her before? True or false?
That portion of that sentence is false.
James, I don't know if you see this. This is something to think about right here. This is Dream Thinker. JFK, do you ever feel unsafe calling out people in powerful places in Canton, Boston, and elsewhere? It seems like many do. I'm going to throw that
Yeah.
off you. Do you feel unsafe, James?
Absolutely. I mean, in the beginning, you saw me I struggled with talking about a situation because if it's a very small, town, these towns are small, the city's small. If these cops happen to see you, they may pull over and say, hey, I saw this, or, happen to hear this, and it's not going to end well. So yes, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, it's Dream Thinker. It does get scary to think that, these guys, they're all police officers, regardless of how dirty they are. They know people. All they got to do is make a phone call, get an address, and they'll just throw something on you. See, back in the day, it was easy, right? Weed was illegal, so they could just get you with weed. Now they could throw a fake pill your way, and it's definitely scary. But you know what? It is what it is. This is YouTube. This is all the hypothetical. I'm calling people out. Of course, we all are, but it's all hypothetical. It is what it is. This is everybody's talking about it. I'm not the only one. And like I said, this is all speculation, and this is just my opinion. And it is what it is. Thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. But yeah, Brian A., one word to describe this nutcase, I would say psycho.
Let's get this on the record. Did John O'Keefe come into your house at 34 Fairview at any time on January 29th, 2022?
Ooh.
Absolutely not. I wished he had.
And you're as sure about that as you are about the statement that you had never met or seen Karen Reed in your life,
Objection.
correct?
Sustained. Can ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
I want to get back to the waterfall. I know I asked you this about the hillside. I may not have asked you about this specific question about the waterfall. Did Brian Higgins say anything to you about John O'Keefe and Karen Reed walking in together at the waterfall?
No.
Did he say anything or give you any indication that he was upset about Karen Reed showing up with John O'Keefe?
No, he did not.
It appeared from your observations that John and Karen were getting along at the waterfall.
I didn't really notice, but I didn't notice anything was wrong.
They appeared pleasant,
Yes.
happy.
I don't know if they appeared happy. I didn't really notice.
They were interacting with others.
Yes.
You didn't notice any tension,
No.
no argument,
No.
no yelling or fighting.
Nope.
They looked like a normal, happy couple.
Yes.
Did either of them appear to you to be completely drunk?
I didn't have a ton of interaction with John or Karen that night, so I can't really say, but it didn't appear them that they were drunk. No.
You had an opportunity to review the waterfall video. You did it with Mr. Lally, correct?
The only small portion of it.
Right, but even in that small portion and based on your memory, you don't remember that anybody being stumbling drunk and falling down over stools and things of that nature?
No.
Okay. They appear to be acting appropriately
Yes.
and interacting with others appropriately.
Yes.
People were buying drinks for others, is that right?
I'm sure. I don't recall exactly, but I'm sure that was going on. Yes.
Not that unusual to say, hey, I'll get this round, correct?
Yes.
You left the waterfall at 11:58. Is that right?
Yes, approximately.
Who was invited to come over to your house upon leaving the waterfall?
Whoever wanted to, really.
You'd been drinking since about what time in the evening or in the afternoon?
9ish.
That's when you went to the hillside?
Yes.
That's when you had your first drink?
Yes.
And you continued drinking throughout the evening consistently?
Yes.
Did you believe you were okay to drive?
Yes.
So this guy went to the waterfall, right? I mean, he went to the hillside first. So, you know, what I said was, James, right? What I think would happen in this situation, I think Chris A, clean Chris A, you know, he's very clean. He wants to be the clean guy. He was D&E. Are you familiar with D&E in Canton? It's right next to CF McCarthy's, where they were you know, buying food and proper pints. They were there right before that. Karen and John. And I think somehow or another, you know, Chris A found out that he was there with Karen, John was, and then he called up his brother like, "Hey, guess who I just seen in CF's? I just seen John and he's with Karen. You want me to tell them to come to, you know, the waterfall?" And they was already at the hillside getting tanked up, and it was kind of like, you know, Big Bad Brian A was probably more so like, you know, along the lines of, come on, let's go over there and confront this dude. Let's go over there and see what he's all about. You know, it's been on your mind. We just took this ride back from New York. Now, you took that ride back and forth to New York many times with me, right? Because we do this, you know, these New York trips a lot.
Yeah.
What type of conversations do you have?
All sorts of conversations.
Do you think that?
Laughing, crying. I mean, to
Do you
any
think that?
extreme. Go
Do
ahead,
you
I'm
think
sorry.
that? Sorry. Do you think that Big Bad Brian A and Higgins talked about Karen on the way home?
Absolutely do. Yes, 100%. I think they came to that bar looking for trouble because they talked about that in the car on the way home.
Wow. That's crazy, right? So this guy, so I feel that Chris A, all my people out there, clean Chris A, if you notice, he went home. You know, his girlfriend had to come bring the clothes. He was the pizza shop guy. She had to come bring the clothes. You know, she had to, you know, because he was all dirty from working real hard. And allegedly, John O'Keefe went in there earlier into D&E and got a slice of pizza with his kid. And he said, "Are you coming out later?" Which I call bullshit on that, because I think what really happened was either Chris A was sitting in his shop, because, you know, he's a real paranoid guy. If you look at his structure, the way he's built, the way he moves, especially what he did to Turtle Boy, Jay Dams, he fears that call. The feds want to talk again. My man Jay Dams always on point. What's up, buddy? How you feeling? Susie Q, yep. Chris Alba set it up and JM covered it up. You're so right about that. And the segue back into that, Chris A, like I said, he said that, you know, my wife had to come with the clothes and we were having to get together for little Brian A. But the craziest thing is little Brian A didn't even show up. He didn't even show up, man. You know what I mean? The birthday boy. And what type of ice
Oh,
cream
the
cake?
birthday boy.
What type of cake? Did they get an ice cream cake? Did they get a, you know, a cake from the bakery? Like, you know, they were singing his 21st birthday. They went back to the house. There's no pictures at the house. But like I said, I think Chris A is so paranoid that he was probably sitting inside his pizza shop, and he might have seen John O'Keefe and Karen walk by his shop to walk in CF McCarthy's, or his wife. If you look at the testimony of Julie, they said that she started her night at CF McCarthy's, and then she left real early, right? She left. She said she had a headache and leave. Now, question is, when she was at CF McCarthy's, did she bump into John O'Keefe and bump into Karen? And she didn't like that. You know, she didn't like the energy Karen maybe was giving Julie, or maybe she didn't like Karen. And then when Karen popped up at the waterfall, maybe that's why she left early, because she doesn't like Karen. Because this
So,
headache thing really doesn't make sense.
yeah, what I was gonna say too about his brother, knowing that Karen and John O'Keefe had dinner at that other restaurant. Like if you're in a town like that, especially a small town like Canton, everybody knows everybody. The restaurant owners know each restaurant owner. You know, they all kind of in cahoots. They might go to the same place to get food. Who knows? So
Right.
someone could have called them and told them.
Oh, I mean, 100%. I think if anybody, it was Chris A. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, he probably talked to his brother on the way back. Think
No, I'm
about it. If you're
saying
driving,
someone could have called Chris A and told him, like another restaurant owner.
oh yeah, maybe the dude
You
next
know,
door from CF McCarthy's. I mean,
right?
it's kissing each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's dead next to each other. Um, like I said, if he's driving home from New York, um, and Brian A. I mean, excuse me, Higgins drops the bombshell. Like, hey, listen, you know, I was with Karen, and how do you think he feels about that? And they got 4 hours to talk a bunch of shit on the way home.
yeah,
This is right before a blizzard. And then this is the funny part about Chris Albert. It's right before a blizzard, but yet he got to change. I got to change, but he lives 5 minutes up the street. So you could have walked home, got changed, and still made it to the waterfall. That's one. Two, you didn't even have to change because everybody knows you're the pizza guy. So it's
right.
not like people are surprised that you might look a little rugged. You might have, I don't know, grease on you or whatever it might be. You're the pizza guy. You know what I mean? And, with that being said, that's just all madness to me.
Out and brought him donuts. 6 donuts. I've been doing it for years.
She likes to come by and bring like coffee and donuts.
I open my car door.
That's fuckery donuts.
She
That's
likes
just
the.
that's what it is. I mean, because like I said, she brought the 6 donuts that morning, allegedly in a blizzard. Did she park her car inside a garage? Did she, did she have to shovel her way out in that blizzard? I mean, how so that this woman, made it down there at 8 a.m. and she never mentions once it was blizzard conditions. I mean, they talk about this blizzard like it was nothing. Like the snow didn't affect them. And the snow wouldn't really affect you if you were out all night and your car was warmed up and you've been in it all night. If you was in the storm all night, then you're ahead of it. And another thing is we talk about the birthday cake. There was no birthday cake, there was no celebration at the house and things like that. No one has any footage of them singing happy birthday to him, um, which is insane. But no one wants to talk about, did she actually have to shovel her way out, or was there a Dunkin' Donuts open? What do you guys think? Do you guys think the Dunkin' Donuts was open that day? What do you guys think? Let's get into it some more. I don't know. We'll see. This guy's crazy though.
What kind of car did you have at the time?
Ford Edge.
Black?
Yes.
Did you drive that car home from the waterfall?
Yes.
Who rode with you?
My wife and my daughter.
What other cars were in the driveway when you got there?
I don't recall. Brian Higgins' Jeep was in the driveway backing up as we pulled in.
So kind of in your way.
Yes.
In other words, you weren't going to park. You weren't going to park him in.
I didn't want to block him in.
Right. So you waited until he moved his Jeep out of the way.
Yes.
And then you pulled in.
Now she says plow drivers, they keep the Dunkin' Donuts open for plow drivers, but ever since the post-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's a small Dunkin' Donuts too, like in Canton. So, like, did they really keep it open? And when you look at the hours of operation on the weekends is from 5 a.m. I think to 8 p.m. So my point is, it seems like she was up the whole night, because if they were plotting how they're going to get rid of this body, they were up all night trying to figure it out. And I think Julie was going to be the one to say, hey, I pulled up, I was bringing donuts, I left that night with a headache. I didn't get to say happy birthday and join the festivity. So I showed up in the morning, and instead of the birthday cake, I brought him 6 donuts. So I think they stuck with that story for to keep the memory right, and just to keep that muscle memory, so to speak. So I think there's some truth to that. As insane as it sounds, I really do.
Pulled in.
Yes.
Where in the driveway did you pull in?
I believe I pulled to the left side of the driveway.
You would have been closest to the garage, or was there a car between you and the garage?
I would have been closest to the left side walkway. I don't think there was a car in front of me, but I'm not 100%.
Mr. Albert, did you move that black Ford Edge at any point that night after you got home?
No.
Brian Higgins was the first person to actually physically get to the house. He got there before you, correct?
Yes.
Describe his Jeep.
He had a Jeep Wrangler. I believe it's white. I think it's white.
Any appendage on it?
A plow.
A snow plow on the front
Yes.
that can hydraulically go up and down.
I didn't see it that closely. I'm assuming it can, but I don't know that for sure.
After Mr. Higgins moved out of your way, out of the driveway, where did he put that Jeep?
I don't know. I don't know where he parked.
So you wouldn't have gotten to the house if you left Waterfall at 11:58. You have to get out to your car, get in your car, start it up, drive home, wait for Brian Higgins to move his Jeep, park your car, then get into the house. That's a fair assessment of the mechanism of you getting home that night, correct?
Yes.
You wouldn't have gotten into the house until, what, 12:15? Maybe 15 minutes for all that?
I would put it more, maybe 10 past 12.
Okay. 12:10 or so?
That would just be a guess.
So it could have been 12:15.
Yeah, and it could have been 12:07.
Wow.
Who was inside the house when you walked in?
My nephew Colin, my son Brian, and then he had two friends, female friends. I believe it's Sarah and Julie.
What were they doing inside the house?
They were sitting at the kitchen table.
And your nephew, Colin, how old was he at the time?
I believe 17 or 18.
Describe him.
In what way?
Height, weight.
So 2.5 years ago. So he was probably 5'11", maybe 6 feet, and probably 100 and, I'm guessing 175 pounds.
Big boy.
He's
not a small kid.
right.
I mean, bigger than me, significantly.
Yes.
Athletic guy.
Yes.
Played football.
Yes.
Good at football.
Yes.
You testified that you went to the bathroom after you arrived home, correct?
Yes. After saying hi to everybody, I went to the bathroom.
Was that upstairs or downstairs?
I'm not sure. I have a bathroom downstairs and not downstairs, but on that floor and then upstairs. So I'm not sure which one I went to.
When you came
I think
back
it was
down-
upstairs.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I think it may have been upstairs, but I'm not sure.
When you came back downstairs from the bathroom or came out of the bathroom, wherever it was, you no longer saw Colin.
Yes. Prior to going to the bathroom, Colin had said that he was getting picked up.
But you never saw him leave.
No,
You didn't see him leave the house, and you didn't see him get picked up by anybody.
I did not.
You didn't see a car outside waiting for him, correct?
I didn't. No.
You did give an initial statement on the morning of the 29th to Michael Lank, about 7 a.m., is that right?
Officer Lank was in the house at that time and speaking to all of us, really.
And you've admitted that you have known Michael Lank for many years, is that right?
Yes.
Did you see that as a problem?
In what way?
Conflict of interest?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll let him have it. Did you see that as a conflict?
No.
You were asked who was present at the house that night, the night before, right?
Yes.
You stated the following people were at the house that night, quote, in response to Officer Lank's question, at some point during the time in question. That's how he phrased the question. Who was at the house at some point during the time in question? You understood that, right?
I don't recall his question. No.
You knew that he was asking who was in the house. Right?
That's right. Yes.
So you mentioned Brian Albert Jr.,
Yes.
your son. You mentioned Caitlin Albert, your eldest.
Yes.
You mentioned Julie Nagel.
Yes.
You mentioned Brian Higgins.
Yes.
And then you added the detail that Caitlin Albert had left your house about 12:15 a.m., correct?
No,
You didn't say that?
I did not.
That may happen just a moment, Your Honor. Yes.
Yeah, man.
May I approach you?
Yes. Show Mr. Lally.
I'm sorry.
This is crazy, bro.
So you don't have to sit and read the entire thing. There's a right at the top of this.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can't see me though. I don't know what's
No.
going on with my camera, but we'll keep talking. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure this. We got a new member here. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard. 500 people in the room. We'll keep it going. We got so many hoes in their stories. Yeah, you're not right. Oh, snap. I caught it. Where are you? I don't know. I'm blacked out. I'm trying to figure this out. We're going to still get into it. Let's just still talk about this guy. This guy's crazy.
He's on
Brian
Trump.
A.
Posted. There's a word that says next. If you would read that area, that next few sentences, let me know when you're finished.
Shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is great.
Mr. Albert, did you have an opportunity to review that portion of a report?
I did.
Did that refresh your recollection about a conversation that you had along with your wife with Officer Lank?
Yes.
Isn't it true that Officer Lank asked you and your wife who else was in the house that night aside from the names already mentioned? And the names mentioned were Brian Albert Jr., Caitlin Albert, Julie Nagel, and Brian Higgins, quote, who is a friend of Brian Albert Sr., end quote. Is that right?
That's what the report says, yes.
And then the report goes on to say, they advised me that their daughter Caitlin left the house around 12:15 a.m. when she was picked up by her boyfriend, Tristan Morris, right?
That's what the report says, yes.
Do you think Officer Lank got it wrong?
Perhaps, yes.
Did you say that Caitlin left about 12:15?
No,
Did Nicole say in your presence that Caitlin left about 12:15?
she did not.
At any point, did Officer Lank ask you what time Caitlin left?
I don't recall him asking that. It was a very chaotic morning, and I don't remember him saying that.
So in fact, if he wrote that sentence in the report that you just read, he's just making that up.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
I'll ask it a different way. If that's what Officer Lank recalls, he's just wrong, right?
Yes.
Anything else that he's wrong about in there?
I didn't read the whole report.
At no point, isn't it true that at no point during that interview did you admit or mention that Colin Albert had been at the house that night?
I don't believe I did, no.
At no point during that interview did your wife, Nicole, in your
That's crazy. He never mentioned that Colin was at his house. How insane is that? That's pretty nuts, huh? When you
Yep.
really think about it. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, man.
You
I
got,
don't know what's
you got
I don't know
a
what's going
$50 thing here. It says love your videos from Toby Bird Dash. $50.
Oh, $50. Toby Bird, thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
insane. Thank you. That's awesome. I wish I could tell you face to face. Yeah,
No, he's in
I
the
wish I
trunk.
could tell you.
Oh wait,
I
hold
am.
up. Something might
Yeah,
have
I got
changed.
this little face going on here, and I don't know what's going on with the cam. I go to start the camera, and it won't let me get the camera. There's something going on. It's like it won't let me get to the camera. I don't know what it is. If I stop the camera, I can't even. This is what you get. You get this crazy guy, and I don't know
Well,
what's going on. It keeps freezing up. I don't know if it's my internet connection. I don't know what's going on. We got 499 people in the room. $50 for a new camera. Dream thing. It's not that my the crazy part about it is it's brand new. Everything
yeah.
I have is brand new. It's not it's not the laptop or anything like that. It's actually something to do with the StreamYard. It does freaky stuff like that. I don't want to stop the live, but yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate all that. Super chats are awesome. Like I said, 495 people up in here. Let's see what else we got. Listening to Lally. Listening to Lally say objection is hilarious. He sounds like he's in bed. It must be an apple. Can you turn it off and on to see the live? Yeah, I can. I'm gonna try to troubleshoot that right now. I'm gonna try to troubleshoot that right now and see if I can troubleshoot this. Um, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes things happen. I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, this guy's crazy, huh? He said he didn't see Lally or nothing like that. I mean, he didn't see Colin. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
He said Colin wasn't in the house and he said he didn't see him. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, I'm about to get into it right now. Listen to this
In your
guy.
presence, admit or mention that Colin Albert was in the house that night.
No.
So did both of you conveniently forget that Colin was there? I'll ask you this.
Stand.
You forget that Colin had been there?
No.
Is there a reason that you left his name out?
Because he wasn't there. He left when we got there. He wasn't there for the duration of the time that we had that night.
Except for the fact that you just testified that you never saw him, correct?
Well, he said he was getting picked up and then he was gone, so I assumed he left.
People say a lot.
Good now, Jay.
You didn't see him leave, and you didn't see him in the regular floor of the house, according to you, correct?
Right.
Ground floor.
Right. He was no longer in my house, so he left.
Well, you didn't search the house, did you?
No.
And you never saw him leave?
I didn't physically see him leave, no.
You also gave a statement to Michael Proctor later that morning. It was about noon.
This guy's crazy, right? He said that. He said he didn't see him leave, and he made sure he protected him. I'm back. 480 people gifted a J.F.K. membership. I'm back, people. I'm troubleshooting. This is what happens when you're live. You know, you can't panic. You can't panic in the panic room. I'll tell you that. But we're here, you know. But this guy's such a liar, you know. And the crazy part about it is he's like, you know, he's a cop. And everybody that thinks Karen Reed is guilty, right? This guy's a cop. Why is a police officer on the stand lying, straight lying, making sure he says Colin wasn't there? He's just, you know, very, very slick. You know, this guy, how many times you think this guy been on the stand being called in as a witness, as a cop?
I would say thousands. And you can tell he's a professional liar.
Professional.
It just rolls off his tongue, man. The lies just roll off his tongue.
And he's slick. When he gets caught up, he'll say, repeat the question.
Yeah.
Can you rephrase it? That wasn't the context that I had. You know, he's just real slick. You know, real good at what he does. You know, this guy's just real good at what he does. From New Bedford. You know, what I think happened was, what's your opinion, James? When John O'Keefe walks in the house, it had to happen real fast on site, right? How do you think it happened? You think he walked in the house, went downstairs into the basement, and it just popped off?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never personally seen the layout of the house. Is it a barn house? Like, so a barn house is set up where the stairs go down and other stairs go up. You know what I'm saying?
When you walk in the house, right to the left is the basement.
Okay.
You know?
So they brought that right in there. That was it. We're going right in here. We got because I mean, you can tell from the body language at the bar. There was no way they were going home. Let me stop and get gas. No, they were going right to the house. Let's get it over with right now. You know what I mean? It had to. Look how fast things escalated.
I agree. That's crazy, right? That's wild, man.
What are the chats?
What do we got? We got let's see. We got the judge should be ashamed of herself. She should reprimand the police for a shitty job and call and say, because now she gets convicted, it will be sus for sure. What a bad state. What a bad state. What a bad state, huh? I guess nobody wants to come to Massachusetts anymore, huh? Holy crap. Massachusetts is off the nobody's trying to come here. Wow. You know, let's get into that for a second. Let's get
Is
into
it gonna
this.
is it gonna put a name?
Let's get into that body language.
Yep.
This Chris A right there, right? Chris A's right there. He's talking to Higgins. That's Brian A with the hat on. Now they're talking right now. Now right across is this guy staring at him, John O'Keefe, and they're talking
Oh
right
yeah.
now, and he's saying right now, Chris A saying, "Hey, you can't do it here. Just take it back to the house."
Yep. Look at him. He's standing there like he's the head of the mob.
Yeah,
This is
look
how
at him.
we're
He's
gonna
saying.
do it.
So he says, "Come on, look at his hands. His hands up. Come
Yep.
on. What are we doing
Come
here?
on. Yep.
Let's
Let's go.
And look at
And look at he put his hand in his face like, oh, this dude's pissing me off.
now. Look,
That's why.
Chris A grabbed his arm right there, and then look at Big Bad Brian A. Just right there in the mix.
Look at him. Are you coming? Let's go. I said, let's go. Come on. We're going to his house. That's probably exactly what he said.
Very possible.
Yeah, bring that glass. Go ahead. Heel toe.
Wow. It's wild, man, to think that, right? It's very wild to think that. So what do you think happened? You think the reason why he took the glass out because he was going to bottle one of them?
Very possible. I mean, any situation you don't know. And he felt like he might have been outnumbered in that situation. There was 3 guys. Those 3 guys weren't his friends. Those weren't guys he grew up with. Those weren't guys he was friendly with.
Yeah.
He might have.
Let's get into some more of this crazy guy right here. This guy's here he is, Big Bad Brian A. People.
On the 29th, you later, after you spoke with Officer Lank, you later were interviewed by Trooper Michael Proctor over at Jim McCabe's house. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Colin's name was never mentioned then either.
No, because Colin wasn't at the house for the duration of the night.
So when they said who was in the house, talked about Brian Albert, Cleveland Albert,
Yes.
folks in the house,
Yes.
Nagel.
Yes. And there were other people in the house prior to us arriving. I didn't mention them either.
Who's that?
There were some females, friends that were over prior to our arrival, and
But you never even saw them.
No.
So you have no idea who was there and who wasn't there before you got there.
No, I know that there were people at the house prior to me getting there.
Mr. Albert, the question that has been posed to you by several officers was, who did you see in your home when you got there, correct?
I don't believe that was asked, no.
Look at him, slick. That's not the way I was
So
asked.
Colin's name was never mentioned. It's left out.
I testified multiple times that Colin was there when we arrived.
Oh, you did it after the fact, right?
Yes, when I was at.
You knew that the defense knew that Colin was there.
Objection.
Sustained.
In your initial reports to the police, his name was never mentioned, was it?
I did not mention it, no.
And Nicole did not mention it in your presence, did she?
In my presence, no.
Let's talk about Caitlin Albert, your eldest. You told Officer Lank that your daughter, well, according to Officer Lank, let me rephrase the question based on our colloquy back and forth. According to Officer Lank, you're aware that he wrote he was told she was gone by 12:15, correct?
That's what he wrote in the report, yes.
If Caitlin was gone by 12:15, she would not have been there when John and Karen arrived to the house, correct? Because they didn't arrive for 15 minutes later.
But she was at the house, so that would be a hypothetical.
Okay. So, fine. Hypotheticals. Let me ask you a hypothetical. If in fact
He slicked this dude,
Caitlin
man.
was gone by 12:15,
Professional, man.
hypothetically, she would not have been there when John and Karen arrived 15 minutes later.
Objection.
Sustained.
when you were interviewed by Officer Lank that morning, other people were in the room, not just you and Officer Lank, correct?
Yes, I wouldn't consider that morning to be an interview with Officer Lank.
More of a conversation.
Yes.
During that conversation,
See, this is what you got to understand, right? See, Courtney says with a K, JFK. If John was mad and ready to fight, don't you think he would have told Karen in the car? It didn't sound like he said anything to her about what happened at the bar. I mean, she's seen what happened at the bar. You know, it was 1 hour at the bar. They got there at 10:55. They left at 12 o'clock. Um, you know, I think she's seen some of the effery, some of the fuckery. I'm sure she's seen some of it. You know, sometimes, like I said before, sometimes you don't have to say anything, right? You could just feel the energy. And I think 100% he said something heading over there. And she just didn't want to say anything on Nightline, and she didn't want to put it out there. But she definitely said something in the car. She had to have. Because if there was a fight, something was said. You agree?
Yes, absolutely. I would I would think she said something. Um,
They both said something. I mean, John said something. He probably said something about this guy's acting funny. He wants me to come over there. He just texts me. He texts you at the bar at 11:32. Why is he texting you? You're my girl. Now he's texting me. I'm going to go talk to this fool. I mean, she didn't peel off screaming, "You're a pervert. I hate you," because nothing was said.
yeah, I mean, she might not have told him everything yet, but he might have definitely asked about that text in the bar. Why did he text you in the bar? Question mark, question mark. If I was with my girl, I'd be very insulted, especially by an acquaintance.
Well, he didn't text a question mark, question mark. He texted he texted him, "Are you coming here?"
That's right.
Question mark,
So,
question mark, question
yeah,
mark. Which is even worse because now you're basically saying, "Hey, what's going on, buddy? Are
yeah,
you
what's the
coming
deal?
here? What's the deal?" And people test you. When you're out with your girlfriend, if your girlfriend's pretty, it doesn't even make a difference what anybody thinks of your girlfriend. The point is, if you're out with your lady friend
Guys are
and
gonna
someone's,
test you.
they're gonna test you, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. Bingo. She knows more than she's letting on. Don't mean she's guilty of running him over, though. Absolutely not. And I think, that's the main thing when she went on Nightline is the reason why there's a broken relationship with Peggy and Paul. Because she went on Nightline and they're expecting answers or something that made some type of sense. And she's making it seem like everything was fine. We was in the car. Are we invited to come here? Did anybody invite us? She said on Nightline. She said it in that type of manner. And he went inside the house. Everything was okay. And I don't know, he ended up dead. That doesn't make any sense. And I think that's the reason why Paul and Peggy, that's one of the reasons. I'm not saying if it's the reason, but that's one of the reasons why they just, they feel a certain way about it because she never really admitted to what really happened. And back to one of the questions at the beginning of this live, someone asked us, do we feel scared about throwing people out there in our state? Do we feel that, some type of harm could come to us with the police? Just imagine if you're in her shoes and you're talking to an ATF agent and your boyfriend's a Boston cop and the house he went into is this guy's house who's a Boston cop. Who's she going to call? Paul had a DWI car accident, hit an elderly man, elderly,
Elderly
excuse me.
man.
Yeah, excuse me. Jesus. Man who he paralyzed and using Paul for the medical bills, which could be millions. Paul needs Karen to get convicted so he can sue her for wrongful death.
Oh,
Paul needs Karen to get convicted so he can sue her for wrongful death.
I mean,
Okay. So you're
that's a
saying that he hit an older gentleman who was paralyzed and he's suing Paul for medical bills, which could be millions. So
saying
if he
that's
gets the money if he sues Karen, then he could pay off his debt, you're saying? So he's robbing Pete to pay Paul? That's pretty serious.
yeah,
That's a hell of a conspiracy. That's what
uh,
Karen said, and I tend to believe John reacted. She said in a text to Higgins, not much more than that. What's that say? Right? I don't know. That's probably JFK
it,
appreciating. appreciating you from the 561. Okay, let me get with opinions here. In my opinion, Karen New Higgins texts Officer John O'Keefe about coming over. I believe they did discuss it in the Lexus. That's why she texted him the next day. Officer John was unalived.
Was
Yeah,
alive, yeah.
yeah. I mean, absolutely, definitely. I think she texted him the next day, like, "What did you do?" That's basically
Yeah,
what that text was. John died. What did you do?
right. She knew
Like,
something happened over that situation, you know.
Courtney with a K. John is a hypocrite. Now that's pretty deep.
Whoa.
John O'Keefe's
It
a
is.
hypocrite. Why is he a
John,
hypocrite?
yeah, can we elaborate on that one? Because John's a hypocrite.
Why is he a hypocrite? Why? And
Back to
John's
what someone said though, real quick, JFK, someone about cops. We would never get the special treatment of someone coming and do an investigation at our house. They would call when they bring us down the station to do an interrogation, especially, oh, hey, the whole crowd's here. Let me get you while you're all here. We
right.
would never get that special kind of treatment.
Well, that's what makes no sense either. If they knew, they never once took Karen down to the police station, put her in a room, and sat there and tried to break her and get the truth. All they did was put it on her. And that's another reason why these cops are no good, because they would have brought her in an interrogation room, and they would have sat her down, and they would have went through all the things we're talking about.
Yeah,
What was the car ride like? What, when you was leaving, and why'd he get out the car, and when, why'd you drive away? Why were you quick to drive away? Why'd you call Jen McCabe? Why didn't you go to the house? Why didn't you knock on the door? What was the problem with knocking on the door? You were so worried about where you dropped them off. That's how you know that she was in a blackout, and Jen McCabe let her know she was there. Because
yeah,
if she wasn't in a blackout, she probably would have just went back there and knocked on the door. But Jen McCabe is the one that picked up the phone call when she called through John's niece, and she called and said, "Hey Jen, I don't know where John is." And Jen's like, "Really? What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, I don't know. I the last time I remember, we was at the waterfall getting trashed." And Jen was like, "Really? Wow. No, you wasn't. You came to Fairview. I seen the truck out front, and John never came inside. Oh my God, this is crazy. Let me call you back." And she already pumped that in her head, but now she says in her testimony, "Let me call you back," said that she was calling Julie up to call Chris A to ask Chris A if they walked home together. That's what she said in her testimony. But we know that's a lie. She didn't do that because at that point, she already told Karen she was in the front of the house. What she did was she called Julie and said, "Hey, plot twist. We have a chick that's blacked out. She fell into the window of opportunity. You don't have to show up anymore at 6 a.m. to find the body. Stay in the Walgreens parking lot.
yeah,
Let me call her back." Now she calls her back. "I just talked to Julie. Julie said Chris went right to sleep. Oh my God, maybe he went to Tom Beatty's house." And then she's pumping her up. And that's when that franticness comes in. "Jen, Jen, Jen, oh my God, you think I could have hit him?" And so it was her that did all that. But yeah, it's crazy. But here's the thing. Why wouldn't she just call Chris?
right.
No, why wouldn't Karen just call Chris?
Oh, Karen.
Well, I don't think she had, did she have his phone number? Does she have Chris's phone number? And like I said, you're calling Jen McCabe because you want to call the girls up, someone that was there, because he was he was the one that was texting Jen McCabe. So that kind of makes it suspicious though, too, in all fairness, because he was texting Jen McCabe on the way to Fairview.
I
So
think
that,
that's probably the only connection to him and those people in that house because of the kids.
who's that?
John O'Keefe and Jim McCabe at that time of the night. Why else would he go back? He really doesn't mess with this psychopath and Brian Higgins. He wasn't really,
Yeah, he
I don't
was
know.
messing with Higgins though. He was cool with Higgins.
Yeah, no, he was
But
cool
at
with him,
that
but
point, I'm sure at that point he knew that his girl was on some other shit though.
oh yeah.
Let's It gets crazy. This is your time. Let us know. We just throwing it out there. Let's go.
Conversation. Nicole was there.
Yes.
She was in earshot.
Yes.
When she was involved in the conversation, you were within earshot.
Yes.
Brian Jr. would have been within earshot.
Brian Jr. wasn't.
I feel that John is a hypocrite because he did cheat on Karen and Aruba on the morning of finding John, Kerry, and Jenna telling Karen all about John's woman.
But John's not here saying anything really to if he's a hypocrite, we don't know what happened. So how could he be the hypocrite of this situation? We don't know if he didn't say anything. He might have just he might have been walking in there thinking he was going to chill, and they might have just, who knows?
Why does everybody think? I mean, isn't that crazy? I do not think anyone intended to kill John. I think a fight broke out because inside the house, the dog thought protecting. He had a nasty fall, and then the cover up began in the one house they should have went. Okay, Angelica. Let's see. Let's see. Chris Albert sent John O'Keefe a picture of them on John's lawn when he was in Aruba, so Chris had John's number. Yeah, well, Chris had John's number, but did he have Karen's number? We're talking about Karen when she woke up and she was gone. If Karen really was in a blackout and did not remember anything, that had to be the case. That's what makes the most sense. Karen had no idea. She called up Jen. Like I said, Jen said, let me hang up with you. This is what she testified to. She said, let me hang up with you. Let me call Julie up and see if he walked home with Chris. This is what she testified to. Like I said, my opinion is I think she at that point, she pumped it in her mind like, hey, what if something happened? He got hit by a plow. This is crazy. Let me call you back. And then she went ahead and told everybody what the plan was, what's going on. She told Julie to chill out.
Yeah, X that
And we
plan.
don't
I
know,
got a
and
new one.
we don't know where. Another thing is, we don't know where Jen McCabe was. Jen McCabe could have still been in the house. Everybody's acting like Jen McCabe because she said she went home at 1:45. She went home at 1:45. She could have still been in the house. So, at this point, she could have still been in, she could have went back, she could have went home and then went back to the house. They all could have met up prior to this. Like I said, they're talking about this blizzard like it's nothing. The only, if you're talking about going to sleep and waking up with 2 feet of snow outside. If you're waking up, you go to sleep, there's no snow, then you wake up and there's a blizzard, there's snow everywhere, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta shovel this shit. You know what I mean? But if you was out all night and you
Yeah,
was in it, and you were in the storm, and you were trooping through it, it wouldn't seem so crazy, would it? They had the Apple data. Okay. We got Chloe Albert. Oh man, Jen is a mass manipulator. Okay, we got what else? Oh, hold on, she's speaking up here. Courtney, you're on fire tonight. We do not ever want to insult John. I know he made mistakes. He was a good man. I meant to say Paul is a hypocrite, not John. Okay, she corrected. She messed it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes
Courtney.
sense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's a hypocrite, but he's his brother's keeper. The energy was, think about it. That morning she shows up and then she left. She left and she still hasn't talked to any of the family. It's not like, I mean, she's not cool with that family anymore. Like she never reached out. I mean, I'm pretty sure Peggy, the mother, she's old school. She just looked at it like you left them there. It's your fault. I mean, I think that's unfair, but that's just what happened.
No, she could, yeah, that, or she could be like, well, he was a grown man, he made his own decision, but who knows?
It's wild, man.
Yeah. You reading the chat still?
Get into it.
Matter of fact, in truth, except for the people who lived there, Caitlin was the very last person to leave that location that morning, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And she's admitted that she did not leave until nearly 2 a.m., 1:45, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
You're aware that she did not leave until 1:45 or thereafter. Is that right?
I believe that's around the time, yes.
Were you trying to cover for Caitlin?
Look at that lick on his lips. My man is so parched, man. He got dry mouth, man. He is like, damn. Think about it. This dude knows if he goes to jail, he's not getting out.
So your daughter would not be wrapped up in this investigation.
And look, he looked around right
On
there.
the 28th, I was in.
He looked around. He was waiting for the objection. He was waiting
Right.
when
He
Alan
was
Jackson
waiting.
said, right when Alan Jackson said, hey, so your daughter wouldn't get wrapped up in this investigation. He was looking for Lally to bail him out. And look, it didn't happen.
New York City.
And why had you gone to New York?
So I went to New York for a funeral.
Oh man, I lost my.
That's the time.
I was robbed. They tried to run me over with a getaway
They
car.
tried to run her over.
He almost killed me.
They almost killed her.
He's laughing.
They almost killed her.
Amanda's attacker was an illegal
Hold on a
immigrant
second,
drug
guys.
dealer arrested twice before. But
John O'Keefe was working on SA minors. John knew too much. D.A. Morsi wanted him silenced. Sandra Birchmore was pregnant with Matthew Farwell's child while he was what? Whoa. It's a lot to take in. J.F.K, I can't see you.
Finally listed it in 2022.
Got it.
So that would be pre-incident.
So the listing coming 9 months after John O'Keefe was found dead in your lawn, or dying in your lawn, that's just coincidence. You had this in place long before that.
Objection.
So I'll sustain the question. You can ask it differently.
Sure. All I'm asking is the timing, November of 2022, listing that house for sale for the first time in November, that in your mind is just a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence because we started trying to look into selling the house in 2021, which was the few months prior to the incident.
On January 28th, 2022, you were still an active Boston police officer, correct?
Yes,
What was your job title in January 2022?
Sergeant Detective.
That means you not only respond to incidents, you actually conduct investigations as a detective, correct?
Yes, primarily fugitive investigations.
You have additional training in order to hold the title and hold a position as a detective. Is that right?
Yes,
You're not just a regular patrol officer. You have to have special training to get to the rank of detective. Is that right?
yes,
Good point right there, Jay.
That's above a regular detective, indeed, because you're a supervising detective. Is that right?
yes,
You have experience in training in order to hold that position as a supervisor in the detective spot as well.
yes. There's civil service tests for the rank, but yes,
And you've investigated crimes. I mean, I'm guessing just a ton of different types of crimes, including assaults, manslaughters, homicides, kidnappings, things of that nature.
no,
You've never investigated anything like that.
no.
So what's the parameters of your investigative skills as you held that title of sergeant detective?
So my parameters were investigating fugitive investigations. That was my specialty, I guess you could say.
So you've responded obviously to countless incidents and scenes as both a patrol officer
Yes,
as well as a detective.
yes.
Is there a TV show that ever showed you in a ring boxing?
Well, that's not what you asked me, but if you're asking me that now, yes,
I'm asking you that now. I apologize. My questions are somewhat inartful.
yes,
You understand the question now.
yes,
And you have been shown, I use the word featured, you've been shown on television in a boxing ring,
yes.
sparring.
I haven't seen the video in a while. I'm not sure if I was sparring.
If we can, Your Honor, with the court's permission, can we take a look at Exhibit 53?
Okay.
There's a clip starting at
This guy got crazy. Me as me.
7 and 15 seconds to 11:48 and 35 seconds, maybe a minute and a half.
Look at this guy boxing. Big bad Brian A. This is when they start doing the grab ass.
Pause.
Look at this.
you see the two men in the foreground?
Yes.
Who are those two men?
Looks like myself and Brian Higgins.
Does it look like yourself and Brian Higgins, or is that yourself and Brian Higgins?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You go ahead and play that.
This guy's cooked.
Sorry.
Why is he
Now,
getting
right in-
so low? See how low he got?
Now, right in back, you got Jen McCabe. You got right in back them. You got Jen McCabe, his wife, her husband Matt McCabe, and Karen. They're all doing like this group hug.
Yeah, they're
Now
probably doing
Karen's
shots.
jumping up and down. Now who's this guy? Right? Oh, who's the guy in the flannel shirt?
Yeah. Who's he? Keeps poking his head in. I see what you're talking about.
And then right in front of him, that's his wife Nicole. Right in front of him, staring at him like, "You idiot."
Maybe he works for the company, the guy with the flannel. Or he's yelling, or he's at the opposite table. They're just chatting.
Now she turned around. Karen turned around though. Real quick, she peeked her head back.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, right there. I saw that.
No, that's Jen.
No,
But Karen turned around right quick. So she's doing her best right there.
to avoid the whole situation.
Karen's doing her best right there to avoid this whole situation because she
She
knows.
just pulled over Jen. She saw that. She just said, "Jen, come here," or whoever. Is that Jen with her?
Yeah, Jen. That's Jen with her.
Yeah, she just
I've got
dragged
one
her
more
over.
clip to play, but I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
Let's take it down and you can put the other one up after the questions.
Yeah, she was
Did you
trying
see
to.
what was displayed on that video?
Yes.
Had you seen that before?
Part of it, yes.
Is that what you and Mr. Lally went over in your preparation for your testimony?
I don't think that we went over it, but he showed me a quick clip of it.
When you say he showed you a quick look, did he ask you questions about it?
I don't think so, no.
Did you give him any answers about it?
Of course he
No.
did.
Any explanations?
No, just,
Just showed you the clip and?
yeah, he just said, yeah, it looks like we were fooling around.
Okay, so you did make an explanation, you've given him an
Yeah,
explanation for it.
right. I said, I think we were just fooling around.
Okay, it's the same thing you told us this morning, right?
Right.
Just fooling around.
Yeah, just having fun with my friends and hanging out and fooling around.
What were you doing? Describe what you were doing.
Having fun with my friends, hanging out, just being silly.
Physically, what you were doing in
Yo,
We never done that shit, man.
I was playing around, sort of getting in a boxing stance.
Okay. Otherwise known as a fighting stance, correct?
Yeah, for a second, yes.
Okay. And what did Brian Higgins do when you got into a fighting stance?
It looked like he was kind of doing the same thing.
Got
We
into a
just,
fighting stance as well, correct?
yeah.
What were you two talking about? You can tell you're talking.
Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. We were just being silly, fooling around, having fun.
You're giving him advice on the proper way to get into a fighting stance or a boxing stance?
No,
You giving him some advice or some indicators about how to best position himself if someone is taking an aggressive stance against him?
no.
Is he telling you what he thought was a good technique for fighting or boxing?
I don't think it was that serious. We were just playing, fooling around.
But both of you were in fighting stances facing off against each other, correct?
Yeah, for a second or two.
And Mr. Higgins, you saw him bob his head and then start walking up toward you like a boxer might, correct?
Yeah.
oh my God, this guy. Now, keep in mind, this guy is on the stand talking about we were just playing around, but he's really the guy who bashed John O'Keefe's face in. How crazy is that? That's nuts, right?
Yes.
And then you got down, pulled your the pant legs up, and you squatted down to indicate getting low, having low center of gravity, correct?
That would never. That's indicating being silly.
Okay. And
That's
then at
not.
some point, while you're being silly, you then faked a right punch toward him, correct?
I didn't notice that, but
Silly Billies.
I'm not
Is
sure.
that what someone said?
We'll take a
Silly
look at the next part of this clip, which is at time of day 11:55 and 51 seconds.
Yeah, fifth dimension. I think that's it.
This is the kiss. They
Oh.
they share a kiss.
Yeah.
Now this part of the video they share the kiss, and that's the kiss that they were mocking. Like, hey, you know, I'll kiss you goodbye, like Karen
Yeah.
kissed you, Higgins, goodbye, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they were talking about that
Talking
whole ride
about.
home from New York.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, 11:54 and 52 seconds. Pause it. And highlight it. Okay, there's several individuals crowded around a table. Can you describe where you are and where Mr. Higgins is?
Brian Higgins is the guy on the right with the hooded sweatshirt and the emblem on the back. I have a pointer. Do you want me to use it?
That'd be great. That'd be great.
So that's Brian Higgins, and that's me.
Okay, go ahead and play this.
Look at this.
Did you see what you just did?
Yes.
What did you do when you slapped his right arm?
Oh,
What did I do?
man.
What did you do? What are you doing?
It looks like I'm just being silly, fooling around.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for a little bit more physical description. What are you doing? Why are you grabbing him from behind?
Oh, shit.
I don't really know.
I don't really know.
No, I don't think so.
Control hold?
No, I don't think so.
Is that some sort of a control hold that you've used in the past?
Bear hugging somebody? No.
Okay.
That's just a silly fooling around with my buddy.
Let's go ahead and play this.
Shit, man.
This guy's sick.
Sick individual. Hey, buddy, just being silly. How do you like that? Look at this guy, man. Hey,
Do you see what Mr. Higgins just did?
I did, yeah.
When you let him go, what did he do?
I don't know. He did some kind of, I don't know, he pretended to knee me or something.
Knee to the abdomen?
Yeah, I don't know if it made contact or not, but
Mr. Albert, I'm not suggesting by my questions that you two are actually in a fight.
right.
I'm asking what he's doing. Does it seem to
Yeah, I don't,
you that he's playing like or practicing like techniques in fighting?
I don't know what his intent was. It looks like he's just fooling around, just like I was.
But if a grown man walks up to you, grabs you from behind, and puts a knee up to your solar plexus, that's probably not the same as a high five, right?
What is your question?
In other
Look,
words,
slick.
It looks like he's
What is the
practicing some
question?
sort of fighting technique.
Practicing? That's not how I see that.
How would you describe it?
I would just describe it as him fooling around. We're in the bar together. We're good friends, and we're just being silly and fooling. That's all.
There's a number of people in that bar. You would agree with that?
Yes.
You see any
You know, look at him, man. He makes sure he says exactly the right things to the jury. He knows exactly what to say. I don't see it like that. We're just fooling around in the bar. This guy's overhyping it. You're being dramatic. She's a defendant. She's the one that hit him. Believe me, I was just playing around. Don't believe him. Very slick, keeping his composure. Anybody else would have cracked.
Oh, yeah.
anybody else in that video at any time getting physical with one another?
Objection.
How much of this video have you actually watched?
Not much.
Okay, then let me ask a different question. From your memory of that night, who are the only two?
We got 642 people up in here. That's crazy. I appreciate every last one of you. That is insane. 642 people up in here, James. Let's get some questions. Yeah, let's go. Mystery. I heard that too, that perhaps this is why Jen allegedly busted up in their bedroom. But I don't think they were asleep at all. They were busy cleaning up. You're damn right, Debbie. That's exactly what they was doing. This was rehearsed. Oh, yes, it was. This definitely was rehearsed. Slacker P179. Is that what it is? P79. Consider Higgins works for the feds. He will not be an agent for long. He's definitely not an agent right now. Drea, what up? At first dimension seems right caliber. Okay, she's answering a question. I didn't get the full one. Yeah, listen, like I said, super chats is the business. Send them so I could get a full question. If you got something to say, we're just going over this. But this guy's a complete liar, right, James? Like, what's going on, buddy? Like, is this not insane or what, bro?
Professional liar, man, at its finest.
It's insane. Like this guy went on this stand, right? Knowing that he did this. He knows that he killed a fellow cop, and he's on the stand fighting for his life. This whole trial, all this trial was it was never about Karen Reed. It was all about the witnesses. How crazy is that? The
Right.
trial was all about the witnesses. We was wondering more what the witnesses were going to say or how they were going to react, because let's just say Big Bad Brian A didn't do this. He would just say, I was at the bar and we were fighting. We watched UFC. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was showing him how to punch. Maybe I was going to show him how to take down a criminal. Maybe I was going to show him if he's ever in a situation that a dude comes at him and try to take his gun. We're cops. I was just bugging out. We was in control. What's that got to do with anything? I'm not on trial here. Why are you coming at me, dude? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I'm not on trial. I'm a witness. He would have, had an outburst, but instead he's kind of like a little puppy. He's like, hey, I'm just a little puppy dog.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
were just fooling around. We were
we were
just
just fooling
playing.
around. Just believe me, jury.
Just being silly.
Because he doesn't know what they know. Like, he doesn't know if the jury knows that they know about the feds.
Right.
At that, excuse me, he doesn't know what exactly is going on. If the jury knows about the feds in, the how they was investigating him and how they look at him, how they view him. So he just was being very, very, like a puppy. Like he's not Big Bad Brian A. Like he's not a Boston police officer. Like he never seen crime. Like he never seen the grime. Like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because he knows exactly what it is. Like it's just insane what he was saying, man, up there.
Like he's never kicked someone's teeth in or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like he never seen death. I feel like you come closer to anyone else that I watched to having a full coherent story of what happened. Not that it's necessarily 100% perfect, but close, and I think it all fits. Thank you, Lisa Butterfly. Hello from Pennsylvania, Amber. What's up? Fuckery Donuts at its finest. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. It really is.
She got him donuts. I drove to 34 Fairview, and I saw her get out and got him donuts. 6 donuts. I've been doing it.
Hey. Yeah. I opened my car door, right? And I brought donuts. That's what we do, I'm bringing donuts in the morning of a blizzard, but it wasn't a blizzard. And the crazy thing about it is when if you know there was a snowstorm, a blizzard coming, right? Ain't you gonna look out the window to see how much snow hits you like throughout the night? If you know like at 11 p.m. you go home and overnight it's gonna get crazy. And you're up. They said they were up, they were partying, right? And then he said he was with his wife having fun. This is what Brian A said. They never once looked out the window and seen
Right.
how much snow was out there, or they never once went out there to get on top of it and clean the walkway early on. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? Just stay on top of it. And it's crazy that none of the other neighbors did that either. Usually like when it's a huge blizzard like that, like right around 3 o'clock, 4 in the morning, people are out there shoveling, staying on top of it. Like people are
Oh
up,
yeah.
you
Every
know?
2 or 3 inches, people are out there shoveling, making sure it doesn't fill up, just in case of an emergency.
Exactly. That's crazy, right? You're right about that, Capo. One word to describe Brian A. One word. The people that didn't get it at the beginning, one word to describe this dude. One word. What is it? One word to describe Brian A. If you had one word, what would it be? What would it be?
Two people in the bar that seem to be getting physical with one another.
Objection.
Can you answer that?
Sure. The only person I remember being physical with was fooling around with Brian.
Okay, play it just a little bit longer. Almost finished.
Comes the mockery.
Did you see the rest of that video?
Yes.
No question that you two are being friendly with one another, correct?
Yes.
You would agree with that?
Yeah.
But there's also no question that of all the people in that bar, the only two people that appear to be imitating fighting are you and Mr. Higgins, correct?
In that video, yes.
And is there another video? Do
Well, no, I just don't know what everybody else was doing in the bar.
you remember anybody else? You know, Julie Albert or
I don't remember.
Nicole getting into a scrap with someone?
No.
No, it's just you two, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Albert, this is minutes before everybody headed to your house at 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
Including John O'Keefe.
Yes.
Going back to the morning of January 29th, everyone had left your location. This is after you had already arrived, had a couple of beers, people started leaving. Everybody was gone from your location at about 1:45 a.m., maybe a little thereafter.
That seems right.
Caitlin being the last person to leave.
I believe so, yes.
What did you do to get ready for bed, to settle in?
I went upstairs and just lied in bed. The TV was on. I was just kind of watching TV.
Yeah, all right, buddy. Sure.
Do you have a nightstand?
I do.
Is it on your side of the bed or Nicole's, or you have one on each?
We may have had one on each in that house.
Put your phone on your nightstand?
No.
Where'd you put your phone?
The phone was in bed with me.
The phone was in bed with me because I picked it up when Higgins called.
Right. I had to
I
keep
picked-
it close by.
Oh my God, dude! Look at this guy.
So your testimony is that you get in bed after being on a road trip all day long,
Yep.
then at restaurants and at bars, then at a get-together at your house. And when you go to bed, you don't charge your phone?
No. I
Didn't need to be charged.
Do you have the phone in bed?
we have 5 kids, and you know, if somebody was trying to call, if I needed to reach them, it's just kind of a habit I do. I put my reading glasses and my phone in bed with me.
And you don't charge it?
Sometimes I charge it, but not as a routine. No.
So you're worried about having your kids out. They might need to get a hold of dad. So you make sure that your phone is nice and close, but it can just run out of batteries?
Well, if it's dying, then I'll put it in the charger. But if not, I just leave it on the bed.
We got Sean up in here. Is that what I'm saying? Seeing we got Sean from Sean is the man at Sean. I guess he's up in here, huh? Sean, what's going on? See, Sean's an ex-DEA agent, right? Or should I say retired DEA agent, right? Oh, there he is. Take this donkey Albert down. There he is going through the emotions. What's going on? Big Bad Brian A. Yeah, you know how we do it, Sean. But see, here's the thing, Sean. I noticed that people want to say things. I see that you get a little touchy because, you know, sometimes we could go off the rails on these lives. People talk shit and say, hey, you know, Sean, the feds haven't came yet. You know, you people got to understand, Sean is a Fed. Sean is a Fed. Sean worked for the DEA. If anybody has anything to risk, it's him. This poor guy was on their side. And he's taking the stand saying this piece of shit right here, Big Bad Brian A, is no good. He's got everything to lose. You don't understand the pressure this poor man's under. Give much respect to Sean, man. Peace to Sean. Sean, whatever you do, don't send the DEA to my house, okay?
Right.
Don't send them my way, Sean, all right? Please.
We love you, Sean.
We love you, Sean. Sean, please don't send the DA. Sean, that's my guy right there, man. You know, peace to Sean, and you know, much respect. He got everything to lose, man. You know, we're just YouTubers,
Sean.
man. We're just YouTubers at the end of the day. And Sean, man, he really did this for real. You know, so much respect to him, man.
Much
That's what
respect.
it is. Much respect to Sean, man. Let's talk about Big Bad Brian A.
Bed.
Well, what about that night?
That night, the phone was on the bed.
How do you know?
Well, I remember the phone being on the bed.
You have a specific recollection from 2.5 years ago about the state of the battery charge on your phone such that you know it was in your bed that night.
No, I just know as a routine, I keep my phone on the bed with me.
That's not what you just said. You just said it depends on whether or not the battery needs to be charged, whether or not you charge it.
My answer is that sometimes I, of course, charge my battery,
Of course you have.
but I sleep with the phone in my bed.
Every single night?
Yes, mostly every night.
I thought you just said 4 questions ago, it depends on whether or not the phone needs to be charged. Sometimes you keep it in the bed, sometimes you put it on the charger.
If the phone needs to be charged.
Sean, no question about it. We're gonna get together. I'm gonna follow you on Twitter. I think I already follow you on Twitter. I'm gonna DM you on Twitter, and we'll set up a time, and we'll get up here, and we'll talk about Big Bad Brian A. You know how we do it. Let's do that, definitely, for sure. You know how it goes.
Charged, I charge it, but I sleep in bed with my phone.
Mr. Albert, did your phone need to be charged that night?
I don't remember if it did, but I slept in bed with the phone.
You've been on a road trip most of the day, correct?
Yes.
You've been out at bars that night, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
You weren't charging your phone. We just saw the video. You weren't charging your phone at the bar.
Right.
So when you got home, clearly put your phone on a charger, didn't you?
But I did not.
So if your kids needed to get a hold of you, why would the phone being in your bed be an assistance to you instead of just on the charger at the nightstand?
That's just what I've always done. I just keep it in my bed. My wife does the same thing.
Okay. So now you've got 2 phones in the bed.
Yes.
Okay. And your glasses.
Yes.
Right between the 2 of you.
Yes.
Got it. Your phone have a ringer on it?
It does.
Ever thought about maybe turning the ringer on just in case the kids need to get a hold of you?
Sometimes it's on vibrate. Sometimes it's on ring. It depends.
Yeah. Depends on you. You just put it on ringer. Wouldn't that make more sense to go to bed and put it on ringer?
Objection.
Can you answer that?
All I can answer is that I sleep with my phone in my bed. That's just what I do.
Of course, that's what you
And you
do.
know what I'm about to ask you,
My teddy bear.
which is why you're saying you sleep with the phone in the bed, correct?
Look at that.
All right,
I
so that's sustained, that's stricken. Come on, Mr. Jackson.
See, and then that's when Beverly comes in. Look, she gets so mad when he said, "You know what I'm about to ask you," because he's about to ask him about the butt dials, about to ask him about the phone call with Higgins. And she made sure she was so upset and so mad. Like, how dare you be sarcastic to this poor man? Come on,
Right.
stop it. This dude beat the shit out of this dude, John O'Keefe, and left him dead. You know, he wouldn't sit there and, you know, and the crazy thing about it is, Beverly Canoni, you know, you're a defense. You used to be a public defender. You know these police lie. You don't. It doesn't make any sense.
All right. What else is in the bed with you? Your keys, your wallet, any other pocket items?
No.
Just the phone and your glasses.
Yes.
And Nicole's phone,
Yes.
right between the 2 of you.
Usually, yes.
What about that night?
Yes.
Sir, did you make any phone calls after you went to bed between the hours of 1:45 a.m. and 6:30 a.m.?
Yes.
Who did you call?
I inadvertently called Brian Higgins.
What time?
I don't recall the exact time. After 2.
2:22
voice changed
and
too.
35 seconds. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Did you speak to Brian Higgins at any point between 1:45 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. that night?
No.
You say you inadvertently called him at 2:22 in the morning.
Yes.
How did you inadvertently call him?
Well, I don't know because it was inadvertent.
So I can explain that.
Well, it's kind of like a butt dial.
Kinda like a-
Shit.
All right. How long have you used
Yo,
an iPhone?
What a piece
yo,
of shit.
yo, I don't know
Oh,
because it was
man.
inadvertent, man. Yo,
This guy thinks he's slick, huh?
man, look at
Wow.
this. I don't know because it was.
I don't know because I'm a big piece of shit.
Yo, oh man. All right, people. The people who just jumped in the chat, man. One word. If you got one word to describe Big Bad Brian A. Go. One word to describe this, man. We just need one word. Just one word.
Just inverted.
Oh man, we got shyster.
Yeah, he's
Nah,
a
you can't.
shyster.
You can't make this up, Cheryl. You can't. Okay, Mark S. What up, Mark? He's a douche. Yo, we got 726 people watching.
Yeah, going tonight. It's good.
Man, we got sleaze.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, J.F.K. from Minneapolis. Appreciate you. I'm pulling my hair out over these losers still walking free. I mean, you right, Dennis, man. You
I
right.
don't
Oh, this
think
is a
it's
good
gonna
one
be
right
for
here.
long.
Look at this. I
Pussy.
smell pussy. Oh man. Big Bad Brian A. This is what they think about you, no matter how hard you try. You was hanging in
man.
Dorchester with Donnie. And you thought you was part of the fucking Funky Bunch. Didn't you, Big Bad Brian A? When you got on Boston Finest, you wore your Adidas and you were throwing blows at the bag. But guess what, Brian A? The bag doesn't hit back. Oh, Big Bad Brian A. The bag don't hit back, buddy. Oh man, you thought you was part of the fucking Funky Bunch, huh?
He
Oh
thought he
man.
was. He thought he was a new kid on the block.
Yeah, when he was out in Dorchester, Four Corners, he was up there, man. You know, up in Ashmont, living the dream, wasn't you, Big Bad Brian A. on the Red Line?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's what he was doing, man. One word to describe Big Bad Brian A. Oh man,
iPhone.
A long time.
As a matter of fact, you've been
Donnie's
asked this
staying
question
away.
before, haven't you?
Yes.
Hence my question. You knew what I was going to ask you.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll withdraw it. You
I'll pull it
indicated
back.
previously at a different hearing in June of 2023 that you were, quote, hanging out with your wife and you must have butt dialed Mr. Higgins, correct?
Yes.
At 2:22 and 35 seconds on January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
You were asked how that could have happened, much like I just asked how that could have happened, right?
Yes.
And in that hearing, you said, quote, I'm not totally sure. Similar to what you just said here.
Yes.
And here you added that it could have been a butt dial.
Yes.
Literally.
You were then called back to that same hearing, but at a different date, an ongoing hearing, right?
Yes.
That was in July of 2023, correct?
Yes.
You then changed your testimony and said, and I don't mean to be indelicate, but your testimony was then that you were in an intimate situation, I'll put it that way, with Nicole at the time. And that's how you butt dialed.
this is what they think about you, Brian.
I don't believe I said that's how I butt dialed Brian Higgins.
Big Bad Brian
I
A.
think
You're
I
a
said
pussy ass
there was
BS.
a time frame that was close.
Punk
So I
ass
didn't
pussy
say
ass.
that, no.
What you said was you were in an intimate situation with Nicole at the time that the butt dial occurred, correct?
I'm not sure if you have something you can read me or show me.
Just say you were banging your wife.
Listen, man, if you was up there banging your wife, right? If you was just up there banging your wife, having a good time, you know, you would listen to good vibrations. Matter of fact, you were listening to Please Don't Go Girl. You were listening to Joey and Jordan and Donnie. You're part of the you were hanging tough. You should have just told him, and you know, And you should have and you had a turkey sandwich. What's the big fucking deal? Big bad Brian A. You're in the funky bunch, bro. You're the sixth member of the New Kid on the Block. You're Boston's finest, man. You made it. You made it. You made it, big bad Brian A. But now you're not even on trial. The crazy part about this is, for all the people out there that still think that Karen Reed is guilty, this is a witness. This is a witness. This is not a dude who did a crime. You know what I mean? Like, he's not charged with anything. This is a witness. And this is what we're getting out of him, all these lies and all these inconsistencies. And he's a witness. Why? Why not just say I was banging my wife, man? Leave me alone. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been easier said than, I don't know. I inverted. Can you repeat that? You know? I was just banging my wife.
Listening to Please Don't Go, Girl.
Listening to Please
Don't Go, Girl.
Is it your testimony? Let me just ask. Is it your testimony that you and your wife were in the middle of some sort of sexual or intimate situation, and that's what caused you to butt dial the phone at that time at 2:22 a.m.?
Objection.
Sistine.
I'd like to show you.
Big killer on the block.
Yes, the new funky bunch. Brian A., Chris A., Higgins, Proctor, Telly. Woo!
The right stuff.
May I approach you?
Yes.
I'm not going to mark this receipt. Sir, I just want to find out if this refreshes your recollection. Look at lines 11 through 13, and then let me know when you're prepared.
Yes.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that you indicated at the other hearing that
Just the first part of that.
Look at that.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Look at that.
It does.
Okay, now you can.
Thank you, Your Honor. Isn't it true that at the other hearing, you indicated that at or around the 2:22 time frame, you and your wife were in bed together in an intimate situation?
Yes, around that time, I think it reads.
Look at that. Around that time. And, you know, just to jump into that, right? How calculated he really is. You know, he's saying right around that time, and he's looking right at the jury. You know, he knows what to put in the jury's head. He knows because he put people away, and he knows what sticks. He's been down this road, so he knows. I'm going to throw that out there. He's making Jackson look like the liar. Like, oh,
Right.
nah, I didn't say I was doing it exactly at that time, right around that time. This dude is embellishing. This guy Jackson's a clown, and he's putting in their mind like he did nothing wrong. And the crazy part about it is this jury bought this story. As far as the manslaughter goes, they bought it. But listen, I got to end it there. We've been rocking. We got 692 people. I'm happy. This is a great feeling. You guys are rocking out with me. I promise the lives will be better. I ran into some technical difficulties. You know how it goes. I need y'all to stay locked in, subscribe. Where can they find you at, James?
James Jackson, YouTube, and Facebook is James A.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see if I can I write that? No, I can't. Let me see if I can write that. James A.
Ready.
So what's your final take on this about Brian A. while I'm
My
bugging out?
final take on the whole thing is they always say like the killer likes to show up or be there like around it. And I just can't get over how his view, he had a clear view at Fairview. That's my take on it. Brian Albert had a clear view because he could see everything that was going to take place, like who was going to, like his windows. My point is, him and his wife, they were looking out their bedroom window that whole night, wondering, is somebody going to find him? Who's going to find him first? Are we going to have to stick with that story? Is Julie going to have to bring donuts? Oh, now, you know what I mean? They were looking out the window the whole night. I mean, if you look at their bedroom window, it lines up right where his body was found. So clear view on Fairview.
Okay, I could dig that. I could definitely dig that. Definitely, my man. And with that being said, we up out of here. Nothing but love to all you guys. Peace.
Peace.
It is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound, there's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone closed the gate. It's cold where the broken face, please Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling away when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face, then he texted me too. You coming here? Then you drove away.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Say 88, 19, 19. When I say 19, you'll say 88, 19, 19. When I say like this, y'all say special like this, like this. When I
Read between the lines. Yeah.
Curtis pulled back, I stand center stage. You ain't no killer, that mention the case. You get an ass for that time, you were trying to get away. Now you glorify a deal like it's 88. When I say 19, y'all say 88, 19, 19. When I say static, y'all say selector, static. When I say like this, y'all say special, like this, like this, like this. They lock us up, we push you down, but I should turn your back on me. I can feel you running, they on Instagram, look at the wheels they running. Aesthetically we always hit kills for something. Static. Hey yo, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and there's a lot of corruption going on right now, so throw your peace signs up right now. Yeah, I go by J.F.K, Justice for the Kids. Yeah, free Karen Reed. Yeah, free Karen Reed.
That he didn't know would go public, that he regrets sending. That does not nullify
the evidence
That says that
Johnny was hit by a weapon.
See what they talking about.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten.
Call 911, officer down, don't make a sound. There's an officer in the house. All I can feel is my phone vibrate. Wish you was here, not sitting at my place. Who let the dogs out? Someone close the gate. It's cold where the broken face. Please, Lord, not today. Laying on this grass, I can hear the snakes. Wish you would've told me he was feeling the way when he sent you that text. Seen the fear in your face. Then he texted me too. Coming here. Then you drove away.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been snake bitten. Life keeps going by, please tell me why am I living? Poison in my mind, losing sight now with this blind vision. I don't know what it is, but I feel like
Okay, back again. Here we go. I need y'all to subscribe to James Jackson. Do that right now. James Jackson. He was on here tonight. He held me down. Subscribe. J.F.K. Can you drop a link to James' YouTube? James, if you're in the chat, drop a link so they can follow you. All right. And I love every last one of y'all. And I will be back. And just keep checking for me, man. Keep checking. Sean, we're gonna do it. All right. Peace.
snake bitten.